The iPhone 15 Pro Max is here, and I am so excited to start using this phone because I really think that this phone is going to solve pretty much every issue that I had with the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and that includes the faster USB-C port for transferring off large video files and photo files, as well as making the phone lighter with this new titanium frame. I was the one that was complaining all the time that my 14 Pro Max was way too heavy, and based on initial reports of this being even lighter, I think I'm gonna be pretty happy. But enough of that, let's actually unbox this thing because I really wanna see what the new titanium material looks like, and also see it in that new natural titanium color. And here it is, the iPhone 15 Pro Max in the natural titanium color. Let's go ahead and just open this thing up. So I haven't held this model yet, so I am really excited to see just how, that is a noticeable difference. Right away as I picked it up, that is a noticeable difference between my 14 Pro Max. It feels so much lighter. That is crazy. And I love how the titanium material feels. It definitely feels more grippy in the hand. Right there, we haven't even peeled off the sticker yet, and we already got some nice first impressions. But yeah, this is basically what the phone looks like. It's not a huge change design-wise, like in terms of looks, from the iPhone 14 Pro Max. In fact, I should just grab my iPhone 14 Pro Max so you can see the difference here. And you can see year over year, if you're just looking at it, yes, it's a new color. But if you're looking at the back, they look the same. Flip this over to the front. If I turn the screen on, they would look pretty much the same. But the differences here really are with that new material. And I think that is an important change. I know it might not be like the most exciting change because it's hard to kind of like show people right off the bat. But just looking at this titanium material, I gotta say, if you haven't seen one of these in person, go look at this in person. It looks so nice. And yeah, it's just a more matte finish than what you get on the stainless steel iPhone 14 Pros. And I am really liking this natural titanium color. A lot of people said the colors on the iPhone 15 Pro were boring this year. They may be boring, but they're a nice boring. I really like the natural titanium color. And then you can see the big change here is that this now does have a USB-C port. Yes, we are living in a world where the iPhone has a USB-C port. I'm sure you've heard that like a million times at this point, but there it is, USB-C. It's finally here on the iPhone. Look at this, I am so excited. I still forgot, there's new stuff in the box that I haven't even gone over yet. So look, now we get a USB-C to USB-C cable, right? No more lightning, and it's also a braided cable, which I think this is the first time iPhones have ever come with a braided cable. So hopefully, this is a nice little upgrade here. The sad part is, I believe the cable that ships with it is still just a USB 2.0 speed port. So yeah, that's probably only gonna be used for charging for me. And then let's see what else we got here. No SIM ejector tool, that's right, it's eSIM only. And of course you get your Apple stickers. Everybody, look, a free Apple sticker, but you only get one, Tim Cook runs a tight ship, okay? You only get one. So use it wisely. But let's go ahead and turn this thing on because I want to start testing this thing out. There's a couple things to note before we do that, right? Look at this, new action button that replaces the mute switch on the iPhone 14 Pro. So, and the regular iPhone 15 models actually don't have this. This is exclusive on the Pro models, and you can map this to quick actions. We'll check that out later. But yeah, this is super exciting for me. I don't know why. It feels so good in the hands. Can you feel my excitement coming through the camera? All right, let me turn this on, let me set it up, and then I'm gonna come back to you with my initial impressions. Oh, and I almost forgot. I got an extra iPhone 15 Pro that I wanna give away to one of you watching this video. So, rules are very simple. To enter, all you have to do is be subscribed, leave a comment down below telling me why you want an iPhone 15 Pro or what you like about the iPhone 15 Pro, and use the hashtag Greg's Gadgets giveaway. Now, just a warning, there's spammers on YouTube that try and deceive you. I am not going to message you through Telegram to announce this winner. No Telegram. You would never have to pay to win a prize. It's gonna be completely free shipping, all that stuff. And the way I'm going to announce the winner is I'm going to comment on whoever wins the prize in probably about like 2 weeks. Look for the official check mark for Greg's Gadgets. And also, you're gonna need to verify this through a DM on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. So make sure you're following me there. I'll leave all that relevant information in the description below. So make sure you do all that. Pay attention to these rules. Rewatch it if you have to, because I don't want you to mess up. I don't want you to get scammed. I'm not responsible for that. I'm giving you ample warning here. Please listen. And yeah, we'll give this away to someone It'll be cool. All right, I am back. I have set up the phone and I've been using it for a little bit. Honestly, it was hard to get back on camera because I was enjoying this phone a lot more than I thought I would. And I was like having fun testing out a lot of the features on it, especially that new 5X camera, which we'll talk about in a bit. But the first thing I just got to reiterate is the design on the 15 Pro addresses so many of my complaints that I had with the 14 Pro Max. And that is in a couple areas. So number one, the curvature of the phone does make it more comfortable to hold. It is immediately noticeable as you pick this up in your hand. This is a more comfortable phone to hold. It feels a lot better in your hands. Second, it solved my weight issue on the 14 Pro Max, where I said these phones are getting way too heavy. They're uncomfortable to hold for long periods of time. And just holding this, testing it out, I can say that is pretty much fixed in this device. It feels lightweight. I know Apple only shaved off about 19 grams, which is 10% in the weight reduction, which is pretty significant. But this titanium material, it just feels so much better. And the weight has been drastically reduced. So, I would encourage you to go try and like pick this up in an Apple store. It's kind of hard because they're like tethered to the displays and stuff like that. But if you can like go pick one of these up, it is a big difference, especially compared to the 14 Pro Max. And then the material, the titanium material itself, I just think feels a lot better in your hands as well, because the stainless steel is very slippery, right? That's been a common complaint ever since Apple switched to stainless steel on the iPhone 10. You kind of hold the phone and it almost like starts to slide out of your hand the more you like grip onto it. But the titanium, it's just extra grippy. It feels like there's more texture in the device. You just hold this phone in your hands and it's like, yeah, there is no slippage. So there's a lot to like about this design. I know it's a very like iterative design, but the small tweaks that they've made here add up to a big difference when you're handling this phone compared to the 14 Pro Max. There are things about the design I think were overhyped. That would be the reduction in the bezels. Yes, the bezels are reduced if you put it side by side with the iPhone 14 Pro Max, but it's barely noticeable to me. I guess any reduction in bezels is good, but the phone dimensions are so similar. The bezels are, barely noticeable at this point. But yeah, if you hold it by the 14 Pro Max, it really isn't that big of a difference to me. But yeah, just the bezels are shrunk. There's really nothing new with the display, right? It's basically the same specs from last year. It's got the same brightness, which is good. It gets really bright. And then it has the 120 hertz refresh rate. And, it has the design pretty much from last year's 14 Pro Max. So you still have the dynamic island. All that was new on the 14 Pro Max. But on here, it's pretty much unchanged. So usually I have something new to say about the display, but I really don't have anything new to say this year other than look at this great wallpaper. It is part of a wallpaper pack on my store if you want to support the channel and get it. Comes in 6 different colors. Looks really cool. Get it for your new iPhone. It's going to look so good. But let's talk about like the feature set of this device because, we're talking about design and stuff like that. It's like, okay, what can this phone actually do that's different compared to the old ones? And, at this point, you're not really getting too many different features here, but Apple does have a few. So the most noticeable change, at least for me in my initial impressions, was this new action button. I really like this action button so far, and you can map it to a few different things. So you can obviously keep it the same if you want to keep it as a mute button, which is what it was before, right? A mute switch. But then you can change it to things like a flashlight. You can change it to a quick way to bring up Do Not Disturb. And the thing I've been using it for, though, is camera. So one of the things that surprised me, though, with the action button is it's not actually a press. So if you press it, you'll see that it says you have to hold to open, which I guess makes sense because if you mapped it to the mute functionality, you wouldn't want to like accidentally press this and then your phone's unmuted and then it's like, a phone call comes out and you're in like the movie theater and your ringer goes off, you'll look like a jerk, right? So it is a hold, which is interesting, but it's a quick hold. So look at this, you just hold it and it opens up. So you can see it's actually pretty quick to get into there. It's not like a long hold. But the thing that really surprised me was I mapped it to the camera. And when I was going over in the settings and in the functionality, I was like, okay, this is going to be a quick way for me to open my iPhone camera, get a really quick photo. But what I actually found out is that you can actually map this action button to do specific things in the Photos app. So you can actually press over here and you can see, look, you have a bunch of options. You have a quick way to take a photo. You can go right into selfie mode. You can go right into video mode or do portrait modes as well. And when I was mapping this functionality, I really thought about it and I went, what do I value more? Getting into the camera app and taking a really quick photo or getting into the camera app and taking a really quick video? Because normally under functionality of going into the camera app, you can just press camera and it's going to open up photo, right? But then when you want to go into video, you have to go to camera, slide that over to video. But now I have a quick way just to hold that in and it instantly goes into the video mode. So that's what I've currently mapped it to. And I'm always taking video on my iPhone. And there's sometimes you want to get a quick video of something and you just miss it. So now I'm hoping when I'm out and about doing like some shoots, well, now I'm just like, okay, I'm ready to go. I know what the video mode is. Just press and hold, good to go. And then you can press it right again to start recording video. All right, let me tell you about the camera real quick too. Again, this is another area where I feel like Apple addressed some of my complaints. And so first off, right off the bat, I love that the camera now defaults to 24 megapixels instead of 12 megapixels. You're kind of getting a higher resolution photo now, but still Apple taking advantage of all of their computational photography features. So I like that it's a default higher resolution photo out of the box. I don't feel like I have to really go into the 48 megapixel RAW mode now to get a higher resolution photo. I think 24 megapixels is an excellent middle ground. And, I just took a few photos with the 1X camera lens, and I thought the photos look pretty good so far out of the gate. Got to do a lot more testing there. But one thing I really did like was this new focal length with the switching. So if you just tap on the 1X lens, you can see it just switches the focal length from 24 millimeters to 28 millimeters to 35 millimeters. And apparently Apple is just cropping in on the sensor to get you a lot of that detail in that digital zoom. So it should be like native, almost like a 28 and a 35 millimeter lens when you're doing those modes. I think that's cool. And then another thing is the zoom lens. So this now goes up to a 5x zoom lens. One of my big complaints with the iPhone 14 Pro Max was that it only went up to 3x. But just initial out of the gate impressions with the 5x lens, there were some photos I took that I wasn't impressed by. I was just like, oh, that looks a little grainy. It doesn't look that sharp. But then there are other photos I took that I thought looked pretty impressive. So there's a lot more testing that remains to be done on this 5x lens. But what I will say is that I am happy that it has a farther reach than the 3x, and it's noticeably a farther reach than the 3x. And now you can even zoom digitally all the way up to 25x. Now, the thing that really impressed me though with this zoom lens was when I was shooting video. So I did a quick video test with the zoom lens, and that actually impressed me more than the photos because I was pretty far away and I just zoomed up on like a construction worker and I was like, oh, that actually got really close for the framing. Like that was probably the framing I would want if I was taking a video. And I was far away. And then all of a sudden I saw someone come by in a bike and I was like, oh, I want to follow them. And the tracking on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the stabilization, the tracking in that zoomed up mode was really, really good. And I was testing around, I saw birds flying, I saw a helicopter pass by, and it was so easy to track with that 5x lens that I was going, okay, I'm sure this will be useful for photos, but for video, if you're trying to get something far away, I thought it actually looked pretty impressive. And I was really impressed with the stabilization and just, gliding the phone around and tracking the shots with it. And there are more video capabilities to cover. Apparently you can record right to an external drive. You can do ProRes log footage now. So this is becoming a really pro device in a lot of ways. But I wanted to save my last impression for last, and that is with the USB-C port. So yes, you can do USB-C charging now, all that stuff. Finally, Android users and iPhone users, they can charge using the same port. When you visit your Android friend's house, you can ask for the charging cable. Maybe they'll give it to you, or maybe they'll be spiteful and when I came to your house, you only had lightning cables and you didn't let me charge your phone and they're gonna get mad at you. Who knows? I don't know what your friends are like, but it's a possibility. Be careful who your friends are. Anyway, I'm not really excited about charging capabilities. I really don't care about that. Lightning charges the phone fine. But what I did ask for on the 14 Pro Max was faster data transfer rates. And on the 15 Pro, they're bringing us that with 10 gigabit per second USB-C speeds. So on the 14 Pro Max, when I was taking a lot of videos and a lot of photos, I've been using a lot of iPhone footage for my videos, it took a while to offload those. Either you had to do it through a slow lightning port connection or you had to airdrop it. And both were just slower than I would like. I like to work fast. I want these video files offloaded quickly, and I kind of want to test that. And I want to see if I can just plug in a drive and take the files off the phone and put them right into the drive. So let me go grab a drive real quick. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. I got a USB-C external drive. I want to see, can I just plug this directly into the iPhone and offload footage into the USB-C port? Let's plug it in. Look at this. It's popped up on the Files app right now. So I can go into this. You can see all my cringy thumbnails. All right, now I'm gonna take all the photos and videos I shot today, and I am going to transfer that to my external drive. So, all right, and look at this. I'm taking all the photos and videos I shot today, and I am going to transfer them right into the external drive. It's done. I think it's done. That was quick. All right. Hold on. Let me go check. I don't believe it did it. They are all here. They are all here. That is a post-production time saver. Did you see how quick that was? That was like 40 photos and a mix of videos too. If I did that through AirDrop, that would have taken like at least a minute or two. And on that was instant transfer right into the external drive. So that was my final impression for last. I did it live. That could have went horribly wrong and it went, oh no, this phone isn't worth it. It was slow, or maybe like this didn't even work, but it did. So, you know, practical use case, I'll probably just be offloading my video footage from a USB-C cable to the computer directly. But if I had to just put it on an external drive, like maybe even I was shooting like a lot of video that day and I ran out of storage or something like that. I have a lot of iCloud, so that probably wouldn't happen. But let's say it did. I just offload it to my external drive really quickly. Wow. That is, I'm impressed. I know, Android people, if you've had USB-C for a while, you're probably like, who cares? But you know what? You didn't have iPhone video quality, so it was useless to you anyway. That's right, I said it. Your videos suck, Android. They're garbage. Garbaggio. Garbaggio. All right, obviously this is not a full review. Still need to go in and get some battery life tests, do some performance tests with gaming, just use the phone, see how I like the new camera system, all that stuff that comes with time, right? You can't rush out a full review. But for my initial impressions of this device, I'm really happy with it. I know it's gonna sound like overhyped, but I feel like this phone solved a lot of the issues I had with the 14 Pro Max already, just from these initial tests of like using it. And I know, like I loved my 14 Pro Max. It was a good phone, but I did have hangups on it. I was kind of like, Apple should tweak this, they should fix that. And they kind of answered most, if not all of my complaints with this iPhone 15 Pro Max. I don't know what they do after this. I feel like this is almost perfect. First impressions wise, still want to test it. So yeah, if you like the video, give me a like. If you want to see more, including a full review and some other content I got coming your way, make sure you're subscribed. And as always, thank you for giving me your time. Hope you enjoyed the video and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you soon. It's a magnifico, magnifico.